Hey, yo, this is your girl, Melanin Audacity, and thank you for tuning in to the Master Elements Podcast.
Smash the elements. 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 Smash the elements.
So, are you guys ready to hear Joe Biden's plan for the Black community?
Let's hear this.
Are you talking about the it's named after one of them Negro spirituals?
Who?
The Joe Biden's plan for Black America. What's it called? What's the name of it?
Change gonna come. I don't know. He doesn't have a what do you call it? Jingle for it or whatever.
No, yeah, it has a title. It's called I forgot the name of the song, man. It's the title of a song. One of them Negro spirituals.
Oh, damn.
Really? It's not even on the website right now.
Joe Biden's plan for Black America. What's the Black national anthem?
Lift every voice and sing.
Yeah, that's the name of his plan. Lift every voice plan.
Okay. Well, these are the highlights of it says highlights from Joe Biden's agenda for the Black community. And I'm just going to give you the high points. Create wealth in the Black community. Invest in our communities through housing. Protect and build on Obamacare. Invest in our students and educators. Support education beyond high school. Invest in a clean energy revolution and environmental justice. Make a transformational investment in our country's infrastructure. Strengthen the right to vote. Strengthen America's commitment to justice. End violence against women. Now, if you want me to, they're short paragraphs.
No. That's cool.
Yeah.
None of those things are specific to Black people.
Well,
that's trickle down benefits when we're supposed to get the crumbs that's left after everybody else eats.
Well,
have we really ever had a president that you can think back on, or that you've ever been around that's ever really been in support of Black people? No. Even Obama, who was there, exactly. He wasn't in support of Black people specifically.
Not at all.
He was in for everybody, all people. So
yes.
I don't know. Personally, I don't think there will ever be a white president in office that is in strong support of Black people, period. It will never happen. It will never happen.
I think we have to make it happen, and that's what I meant by that's what I meant by sitting on the vote.
I mean, it's got to change. That's all. It's got to change.
Once you let the party fall apart, see, because right now they want Black people to save the party. Black people are the base of the Democratic Party. They cannot win not one election without the Black vote.
Right.
The Republicans don't have that problem. They don't need us to vote for them. You know what I'm saying? The
Democrats,
they don't have another group that votes for them at a 90-something% rate like us. The Latinos is split 50-50 between the Democrats and Republicans. Asians is split. Everybody else is divided. We're the only ones that devote 90% of our voting power to one party.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So if we withdraw that, a significant amount, because it ain't going to be everybody, but a crucial number of people withdraw that makes their whole party fall apart. When it comes back around, they have no choice but to acquiesce and say, what do you need, Black people? What can we do for you, for your vote? Just like they do with everybody else. When they go to these other people, they ask them what do they need in exchange for their vote. They don't just say, vote for me because I marched with your grandfather in the civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
They don't just go to their church and sing songs with them at the church and dance a little jig.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well,
treat us like adults. Treat us like adults. We're the ones that are in the most need. So, you know what I'm saying? It ain't about lift every vote. You know what I mean? Because when you try to lift every vote, Black people still end up at the bottom. Right now, you need to lift Black people.
Yeah, and they see it now. So if he wasn't intending to before, I bet you he gonna do it now because now they know we're not playing anymore. And along with
And that's a
Target,
good
the
thing.
police station, the firehouse, the mall, and
We
now
got
since you
we
do
got
that
them on the
same,
ropes.
yeah,
We got
and
them
you
on the
now
ropes.
that's right. And now that you put it in our mind while we burning up our community, I saw one protest took it to their community. So now, thank you. Like not that we didn't know we shouldn't, but in the moment they were angry where they were. But now we gonna bust them to your community and tear your shit up if you don't do right. And now you see the example that we set. If you don't do what you're supposed to, we ain't gonna burn our communities next time. We going to yours to do it.
And look at how influential we are as Black people, man. Black American people are the most influential people on the planet. You got the whole planet in revolt right now, standing up for Black people.
Yep, London, everywhere, around the
All
world.
across the globe. You know
What
what I
real
mean?
is gonna do? I'm really, I can't wait to see what this really changes. I'm anxious to see it.
Me too.
We out there, we speaking big, and yes, we have many different nationalities and cultures of people who are in support of us. And it's very sad that we have to do all of this. What really is going to be the end result of what we're doing?
That
All
depends
the
on
talking,
right
the
now.
protesting, the looting, the rioting. I mean, forget about those things. I'm saying just to be out there, to have a voice to say, we deserve to be equal with amongst all other people. I want to see if it's actually going to make any difference. And I really don't think it's going to make any difference. That's really my thoughts.
I feel you.
Let's hear it for our guest. Panel.
Definitely.
And look,
Definitely.
listen, Valerie, we don't have the high tech equipment, so I use my son's sound machine for listen.
Okay.
That was awesome. And we feel the same way. We're all excited to see. But I want to jump back to Sincere talking about us, 90% of us in the Democratic Party. In my research for my family history that I'm doing for the Melanin Audacity channel, I read that, or I came to the conclusion, because they don't come out and say it. A lot of times when you're doing research, you got to kind of come to your own conclusion, reading various sources of information to see what changes from author to author. And I came to the conclusion that Lincoln used freeing the slaves as a political chess move against George and the boys in the South, because they had the majority of the people who were slaves, and if they were free and able to vote, and we were with the Republican Party, mind you, back then, once we were allowed to vote, that in order for them to win any elections, they needed more people. So in freeing the slaves and having them come to the North, they had the majority vote. So they can control what was happening over the Union. So they've been using us as political pawns since the time they gave us the right to dang on vote, when you look at it. And I really was like, wow, that's fascinating to know. I wonder how many other people have realized that, and that we need to share that amongst each other, or make it known that we know that you guys have been using us as political pawns since you allowed us to vote almost 300 years after you held us captive as slaves and freed us, and then allowed us to vote for your own political gain. It wasn't that many people. There wasn't that many people, like we have 8 billion people now. It was a few million, maybe less than 15 to 16 million. And the majority of them was the slaves. We were outnumbering them 100 to 1, because they was getting that money hand over fist, that the wealth is so great for them that they're still spending that slave money in 2020. You look at some of those deep-rooted, rich, old people who had money for generation after generation after generation, they're still spending the money that we made for them.
They also receive reparations.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize when they
Who got reparations? They make the
Slave
promises.
masters.
Who?
The slave masters.
Oh.
The
Not
slave masters. They got compensated for loss of property. They got reparations.
Oh, okay. Because they made promise to us for the 40 acres and a mule, and I ain't seen a mule in my whole damn life. Let alone 40 acres of land. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. That gets back to what Valerie was saying about, what's going to happen after all of the rioting and all this stuff, after all the protesting and all this stuff. What are the results going to be? Right now is the time where we need to be making our demands very clear, what it is that we want for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Right now is the time where we need to do that. And what's happening is, like we were talking about earlier with the Black Lives Matter and all of that stuff, the corporate media is hijacking the energy from the movement, and they're trying to tell us what it is that we need. They're trying to tell us what it is that the answers are going to be. You know what I'm saying?
No.
We need to be making those demands ourselves.
That's right. And we need to start giving solutions. We keep saying the same stuff over and over: police and justice, housing, healthcare, education, for about 100 years now. After being free, and we're still saying this is what we need. But how? How are we going to do? We need to start giving them the blueprint of what to do. We don't need you to tell us how to do these things. We're going to tell you what we need and how to get it done. You just give us the implement and execute. That's what my whole channel is built upon. I'm not going to continue to talk about the same issues. I'm looking for my subscribers, our subscribers, to also start thinking of solutions. No idea is a bad idea. It can spark the mind of somebody, and it can build and build and build into the best solution for right now. And then we just need to execute something that makes sense, and we can improve upon it as time goes on and times change. So we don't want to put anything in place in 2020, and in 400 years they still doing stuff from 2020. Right? Mm-hmm. There has to be a plan on how to make improvements every 10 years. We need to see, is this still working? No, then we're going to change it. So however that interval is, makes sense, that's what they need to build into it as well. So that's what I'm looking to do. Identify issues, yes, because you have to identify the issue in order to come up with a solution, but I'm straight solution based. I'm tired of talking about the same stuff.
Right. Well, I think we need to form our own party. I think along those lines, we need to set up our own agenda, like you said, in terms of creating documentation, outlining exactly what we want. And we need to present that as an organized front to get it and say, hey, if we don't get this, then we're not going to offer you that. This is it.
That's it.
This is it.
And we need to get people in positions to run as well.
Right.
We need to get people.
Get our own party.
That's right. And I don't understand why you got to have all this money to run for president. It don't say that in the qualifications. I think you have to be a citizen, 35 years old, and some other things, but it don't say you got to be no millionaire.
They don't have to be, but in order to compete.
I understand, and that's just for advertising and traveling and stuff. I get that, but we will support a good candidate. We will have to send them $2, $3, whatever you can, so that this person can travel and stay in hotels, higher security, because they're gonna need a militia around them probably, and that costs money. They need rooms and printing paper, printing out pamphlets and information, running websites. All that stuff costs money. Ad campaigns, photo shoots and things of that nature, and giving back to the community, having things to give them, buttons and all kinds. That stuff costs money. So we will have to support somebody who has our agenda, or our what's the word I'm looking for? Our
agenda.
Our agenda, yeah, at the base of what they're running for and what they're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And that could be a white person too that's not rich.
Absolutely.
Whoever, Spanish.
That's what I'm saying. And that don't matter about party. It could be a Republican.
Yeah, that's right. If a Republican comes right, he can get it.
Exactly. It's an equal exchange. Right now we've been dealing with the doctrine of unequal exchange since they brought us on these shows. Right.
Absolutely.
That's been an unequal exchange. And now we
Right.
supposed to get something in return.
And then another tidbit, it was like 259 years after we had been here as slaves before they decided to consider or allow us to be citizens. How could you live somewhere for 200 years and not be a citizen of that place?
You weren't even a human.
Right.
You
Let
forgot
alone
that part?
a citizen.
Property. You were
You
property.
are unpaid labor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Really?
really?
Labor. Property.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's very painful to know the real history of how the Black American was treated.
But
It's
what offends me is like, since
All over the globe.
all over the globe.
Yeah.
Like what we've been dealing with these you know, with the protests, just seeing a lot of these undercover white racists come out, and they just still don't even understand what they've done to us, what their forefathers have done to us, what we've been through. I just don't get it.
They're not naive. They're not naive. They know exactly what the hell it is.
It doesn't matter what we've been through.
but just like we don't know the history, they don't know it either, because who's sitting down really telling them and explaining it to them? They just know that they're white and they've been getting over and they have the white privilege, so that's what they know about and that's what they've jumped on. But a lot of them don't know the actual history of how things progress through time and all these important historical events that have affected and been against the Black man forever until May 25th.
Yeah, everyday white people might not know the detailed history, but the ones that's in power, they know exactly how it works.
Yeah.
How it got erected in the first place. They try to play dumb. They try to play dumb.
Yeah, they try to act like they don't know. You know what I mean? I'm like, come on, bro. Like, really? You know what it is.
Yeah. So did you have any more sincere?
Yeah, we got a couple more topics, but just to kind of end this one off, man. I just want to say, you know, like we were saying about, you know, solutions and what we're doing going forward, man. We gotta just make sure that we're being clear, capture the energy that's out there right now, and be clear about what it is that we want as a people. And all the so-called allies that you see that's supposed to be out there supporting the Black movement, put your agenda on the table and see if they still support you. That's who you know who your ally. Y'all need to be out there with signs that say reparations. You know what I'm saying? See if tell your white friends to hold up the signs that say reparations for Black people in America. You know what I'm saying? If they really your allies, they really riding with you. Let's see if they want to do something that's substantive for us. Bob Johnson, just real quick, he brought up the reparations thing the other day. Bob Johnson, founder of BT. He's talking about, you know, they need to put together, I think he said, a $14 trillion reparations package for Black American descendants of slaves and all that. That's the type of talk we need to be on right now, just as a starting board. Starting board. Let's fix that, and then talk about the other tangibles that's necessary in order to fix our community. But let's start with these reparations, man.
Yeah, yep. I agree. And I wasn't trying to rush you off because we still got another hour.
We good.
Yeah.
So you mean so I could bring up the Oprah Winfrey thing and
we have another hour. Yeah.
Okay. So talking about, you know, some of the bait and switch tactics. Oprah Winfrey has a panel coming up that's being promoted right now called the Where Do We Go From Here? Kind of what we're talking about right now. And you know, let's give them a chance. Like my sis Melanie Audacity would say, let's give them a chance and see what they're gonna say. I ain't gonna throw them under the bus just yet, but I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. But let's see if they're talking how we talking. You know, we're having a discussion right now about where do we go from here and what needs to be done for Black people. Let's see when we hear what they have to say, if they sound anything like us, or if they start talking some watered down bullshit that really ain't gonna fix anything.
I doubt it.
Let's see if they're gonna try to bait and switch, or they're gonna keep it real.
So who is she gonna have on there?
Oh, I seen off the top of my head, Ava DuVernay is gonna be on there. I don't remember, man. It's a lot of Democrats, a lot of the Democratic shills black left-wing people. You know, some of them is cool or whatever. Everybody, I ain't throwing everybody under the bus, but we'll see what they, because Obama had something similar on the other day. Did y'all get a chance to see that?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I just actually watched his portion of the speech because I was doing some research for, like I said, my history video that I'm working on.
I mean,
and
everybody that
he looked like he
on
was zooted to me. I said Obama's eyes sure looking like he done hit something before he came on the camera. he was too relaxed.
Don't miss the point that everybody on that panel, damn near, every single one of them, damn near, was an LGBT activist.
Yeah, I didn't watch the rest. I couldn't. I didn't have the time to. But
all of this stuff is connected, man. That's the bait and switch, man. They want to use the energy from the black struggle to create benefits and tangibles for LGBT communities, for immigrant communities, for everybody except us. And that's the problem with the Democrats. That's the problem with electing a Democrat. Once we elect them, we got to deal with anti-blackness from all these other groups. With Donald Trump, yeah, we know he's a damn racist. We know he's a white supremacist, but we know what that is. We've been dealing with white supremacy 400 years.
Hello.
But the anti-blackness coming from all these other groups is something that we have slept on and not really.
I ain't sleeping
accordingly as a group. As a group,
Yeah.
we've been on this minority.
I've been noticing it for a long time, and
Smash the elements.